Good evening. Today we have Mr. Durga Prasad Kunta with us. He is an academician with more than 14 degrees and 25 plus years experience in teaching maths. And he has started his career way back when he was in 9th grade. Yes, that's 9th grade. Yeah, and then he continued to teach, and he has been in this amazing journey. He has served in different places, esteemed places, organizations. He has also served as a Chief Education Officer in the UNO, and the journey goes on. He has been instrumental in producing some of the top ranks in IIT JEE, top 10 ranks, and in IIT JEE and NEET exams. Apart from that, he has been a pioneer in starting a lot of global programs to enable students go abroad for their undergraduate studies. Apart from that, he has experience of sending them to some of the top 100 universities, especially to MIT, Harvard. These are some of the names, but students just dream about it and can never reach. But then he has supported many students, apparently very average students who just started their journey, like they did not want to study in India, and then they just went on and they ended up going to MITs. So here I introduce you to Mr. Durga Prasad Kunta, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Welcome to the studio. When I saw your profile, it was really an amazing experience, rather, and feeling that I'm able to talk to you about your career and about how the journey that you have taken. And during this situation, especially now that we have this situation now, it's already almost 3 months, and the children are all at home. Some of the institutes have started these classes on Zoom. I see my daughter roaming around the whole house. The class is going on, and there's no supervision, there's no responsibility from the student side where she could, she is responsible for giving the results or the work. What do you think about this situation? How is it going to impact the attitude of the students towards seriousness to take up a competitive exam, sir?
Nowadays, or for the past 3 months, students are enjoying a lot, and parents are the most worried. And particularly mothers are the most worried than fathers. Fathers are least bothered because they know they can bring back the child, or child will come back. And if you recollect your days, or if I recollect our days, we were all enjoying. We were playing, we were going to parks, we were meeting friends, we were climbing trees, we were climbing walls, everything we were doing, and still we were studying. And we had a lot of cousins, brothers, sisters, and we had a lot of people around us. But nowadays, every house has 1 or 2 kids.
Yes.
And they don't have somebody to play with them. They want to play, they want to enjoy their life. But we talk about only studies, and child gets bored with the scenario and they get irritated. And they talk about the things I spoke just now. So they are enjoying it now. They wanted that and they are enjoying it. So what I believe is, stopping them from playing cannot be a solution. Let them play, let them realize, let them enjoy their life, and let them realize their responsibilities and proceed with the fulfillment of those responsibilities. I think this is very important thing that we need to work on.
All play, no work makes a jack a lazy boy. So don't you think they'll become lazy?
No, they do not become lazy because they are playing. They wake up at 4 o'clock to play. So if they are lazy, they won't wake up at 4 o'clock. But if you ask them to study, they wake up at 6 o'clock instead of 4. Means they are not interested. Means they are not lazy, but something drags them towards something. So if we really want them to study, starting at particular hour, we need to create that interest in the child for them to do that, what we want them to do. So I'm sure they'll work on, they'll grow, they'll improve, and they'll achieve their goals. But we should make them set a goal for them, then work on for the goal and achieve those goals. This is what we need to do. So let's work for those things.
So what is this program about? What is this universal program that you have been talking about? What is this all?
Yeah. In India, if you see, most of the kids, they talk about IITs, they talk about NITs, they talk about top engineering colleges, they talk about medical colleges. Uh, Very few talk about commerce, arts and all. And apart from that, if we talk only science groups, they only talk about IITs, NITs and medicines and all. They start working from their 6th class or 8th class. They are only with that. They don't even think of any alternative. But if you look at IIT Mumbai, which is number 1 in India, ranked number 1 in India, is world's 227 ranked. And IIT Delhi, which is ranked number 2 in India, is world's 179 ranked. And like this, if you take any pioneer institute, whether it is IITs or NITs or other good engineering colleges or medical colleges, we are not top ranked. Yeah. So, but still our people struggle for those institutes. And at the same time, these institutes are giving them good future. So I'm not denying the fact that these are giving them future. They are giving future, so they need to work for it. But that's not the only life. And when I talk about rank 179, 227 and so on, and IISER Bangalore is ranked 125. So if these institutes can give this much future, then what future a institute ranked from 1 to 100 can give? So this universal program, whatever we are talking, this not only takes students into these Indian institutes, pioneer institutes like IITs, NITs and other good engineering colleges and all, but it also takes them into top 100 universities of the world like MITs, Harvard, Pennsylvania and so on. So if a student is getting that good future with these Indian institutes, definitely they are bound to get a better future. And we are working on those institutes through this universal program. And when I talk about this, most of the parents believe, like, is my child suitable for foreign universities? Can my child go and survive? So it is we people who think that a child cannot survive, but that means we are undermining our own child's caliber. And if I tell your child is not capable of getting a seat in IIT, parent gets angry on me. If I say your child cannot understand this, parent gets angry on me. But when I talk about the other side, they say, can my child go and live there? So why this type of thinking? So let us be in realistic world. Let us believe our children are capable. Let us believe that they can do anything that they are given, a task that is given to them. So definitely they can enter into these top 100 universities, they can work there, they can study there, they can get a good future.
I totally understand your point. When my daughter said she wants to get into commerce, she wanted to become a commerce graduate, like her father and me, we were like completely, at loggerheads. We were just didn't know, if not MPC, what next? So I think this is a good opportunity, but don't you think most of our parents, we think that it involves a lot of cost and it involves a lot of our, can we afford? That is also the first thing probably, rather than not only the child being able to sustain the program, it also has to be sustainable for the parent as well to support the child for the next 4 years.
Definitely it costs high. This universal program, whatever we are dealing with, it not only helps a child get a seat into a good university or top ranked university, but it also works on giving them scholarships. Oh. So we increase their credibilities or credentials, we call them as credentials, or improve their profile. Okay. So when I talk about this, when we improve their profile or credentials, definitely a student gets seat in a better college and as well as they get scholarship. And this scholarship can reach from 0% to 100%. Now, as I said, this universal program not only deals with these Indian universities like IITs, NITs, etc., etc. It also deals with foreign universities. Okay. In case if we feel the scholarship they got is not sufficient for the child to survive there or for you to support the child, then they definitely will get seats in even IITs, NITs and all. So a child can take this as an option. So a child should lead a good life, that is the intention. A child will be given support for both Indian institutes and as well as foreign institutes. So if the scholarship is not sufficient, then they can also pick Indian institutes. So I don't think there is any harm in that.
So now that we get to understand that the cost is not the point to stop the child, how is your program? I mean, so many places, so many coaching centers, tuition centers, they have this program going, rolling on. How is your program different from them?
In this case, let me talk about two things. First thing is, this program, this universal program is not there anywhere.
Okay.
So we are unique in that.
Okay.
So other institutes, what they do is only IIT JEE programs or JEE mains programs or NEET programs, something like that. But they are not dealing with this foreign universities. There are institutes, no doubt there are tuition centers, institutes. But everything under one roof is always better than scattered things. You need to
Yes,
pick
yes.
on the road.
Yes.
But here we give everything under one roof. So a student need not waste time in traveling. A student need not waste time in catching different lecturers at different institutes. A student need not suffer with too much of homeworks at two different places. And so many things are solved with this institute. Now, second thing is, online courses have been started by many institutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they are being taught. But as you said, your daughter herself switches on the lecture and she moves around the house. Now, here the challenge lies. Now, if I am also one of the institutes which just teaches the students, if it is an online, of course, now actual discussion is about offline, but online is always a support to this offline, where a student prefers an offline course. Now, here, if I can give a solution that student is not wasting time when the lecture is being taught, and student is focusing on the lecture, and student does not leave in between, whatever homework that is given to a child, he or she completes it and submits it, that is verified, and corrected list is given or analysis are given, and there is a parent app, student app and teachers app with us. Every information about the child is seen by parent in the through parents app, and the teacher sees the performance of student and he or she knows where their child stands, their student stands, and if this teacher starts taking remedial measures, and student also understands they cannot ignore these classes, they cannot ignore homework. And what more, an online program is needed to be done. And when this is done, an online program has much more or many more benefits than offline program. For example, I write a test. If it is offline program, we need to conduct a test, paper need to be connected, analysis need to be taken, and it need to be sent to a parent through either an SMS or through something else. But here, if everything is instantaneous, student also sees the answers or otherwise marks instantaneously. So we need not waste time. And student also, we give so many analysis where student is weak and where student needs to improve. So many things if I give. So I'm sure this online program can be more powerful than an offline program. But now when it comes, then you can ask me a question, why am I starting an offline program also along with that super technology that we are using in online system? The thing is, there are few students who get motivated by the teacher. They imitate the teacher.
Yes.
They work on in the way the teacher teaches. They work on in the way the teacher walks. They work on in the way teacher talks. This is obtained by the student in the offline class. Of course, the same thing can be obtained through online classes also, but still it may not be 100%. So here it is, they're watching live. They are talking to the teacher. Suddenly they want, anytime teacher is outside the room, they can go and talk to him. Something like this. There are certain differences between that and this. But at YEP, we have created an online program which is far above any other program. A student cannot waste time. A student cannot miss a class. If he or she is missing, they are not focusing, they are alerted through questions online because we are seeing everything what is happening in front of us, and we'll alert them. Suddenly a student leaves the place, I'll call the name of the child, and child is not there, then they get alerted. They may miss 1 or 2 times, but third time they don't miss. We have given a homework, they don't complete it, we ask them, and teacher gets a report in the form of yellow, red, blue, green colors. So I need not see how many questions a child has done. Simply if I see red color or yellow color, I'll talk to the child. Blue or green, we say good, fine, carry on, like that. So there are so many advantages that we are providing in online also along with offline. So anyway, offline, when we are doing online, so we have complete system to support the student and parent and teacher with this online support. So definitely this proves to be the best for the society or student community and parents. And all the headaches of parents are removed with this.
This sounds very amazing. But what age do you prefer, or what is a suitable grade the student should be, so that he can be a part of this program and get the entire complete benefit of this program?
Yeah, here our Indian institutes, when they conduct an entrance exam, they look at the depth of knowledge. They test the depth of knowledge of a child. But whereas these foreign universities does not test the depth of knowledge of a child. In the same syllabus may be same, curriculum may be same, topics may be same, but Indian institute tests the depth of knowledge. Whereas these foreign institutes, they test the skill of the child in applying the knowledge they gained. And secondly, they look at the social participation of the child, how best they are helping others, how friendly they are with the people, and what is the thing that they are doing for the society, benefits they are giving to the society, and what are the extracurricular and co-curricular activities they have, and all these things they look at. So these two testing systems are different, and therefore when we train the students, we take all these into consideration and we train the students accordingly. So a child gets all these ingredients that they need.
Which grade the students should start?
When we talk about grade, that's what the reason why I told about the Indian institutes testing the depth of knowledge was this. As a student does not need to have the depth of knowledge for these foreign universities, and they only need to have interest and good communication skills. Even an average child can join MIT. We have an example. One of our previous student, she was very average. She did not score even 20% of marks in any of the IIT JEE tests. And she didn't even score even 30% of marks in JEE mains test, but she joined MIT.
Oh, wow.
So an average child also can reach that place. But same thing, there was a student who got 103 rank in IIT JEE, but he could not join MIT or Harvard. So there are so many examples like that where an average child also made it big. So we are least bothered of the grade. We are only bothered of whether child is interested or not, and if child is really focusing or not. If these things are there, we are sure we can make it. Now, when I talk about this, you may ask me why I'm talking about only foreign universities, why not Indian universities? Can an average child really reach an Indian university, top Indian university?
No.
This is the, perception a student or parent or any person in the, student community have. They believe that it's very difficult for an average child to reach, and they believe foundation is compulsory from 6th or 8th onwards. But there are so many examples where students without foundation have reached IITs. There was a boy by name Gopal Krishna. He was from very remote village of Anantapur district. He was very raw student for IIT JEE coaching, but he got rank 5 and 2. He never took any foundation. That means he crossed so many students, lakhs of students who took foundation. Like that, there are plenty of examples. So grade is not important, the interest of student is important, and with what focus they listen and learn is very important.
Yeah, one more point is that I have seen number of students who have taken the foundation, but then they ended up going to some college near my house, and I used to feel 6 years of your life is wasted doing neither playing and neither did you go reach there.
True.
So I totally understand this. So
here I have something to say. See, somebody who is taking foundation from 6th or 8th, many times they are overconfident. Very few times or very few children believe that what I'm trying to gain, the knowledge, is for my better future, and they use it. Yeah. Many students, they believe that they have already been trained and they know everything, they don't even listen to the teacher once they enter into intermediate and all. So when a student has that kind of attitude, I'm sure they don't make it big.
Yes.
But these students without foundation, they are cautious.
Yes.
And particularly village children, district children and all these, they are cautious. They believe, I'm lacking somewhere, so I should cover this. And they work more on it. And once they start working more, I'm sure they'll start crossing slowly and they reach the peaks. So this is the difference which creates result.
And I also see, but from the moment you are like sixth grade, you start your program and it goes on. At some point, the student loses interest, fatigue, so many continuous tests being happening every Monday, every Thursday. I feel the child, don't you think the child loses his childhood as, completely? That also I absolutely feel. So which curriculum do you think is suitable for your program?
Curriculum, if you take like 2012 onwards, every state has changed their state syllabus to NCERT curriculum. So
But
except
they
two
still
states.
call it as state board, na?
Yeah, boards are different. Curriculum is same, NCERT
Achha,
curriculum,
okay.
but boards are different, like state boards, central boards, and so on. Only two states in the country have their own state boards or state curriculum, but remaining all are having NCERT curriculum because most of the entrance exams depend on these NCERT curriculum only. So now, different as this universal program targets different what we call it as examinations or competitive examinations, like it also targets not only foreign universities, not only Indian institutes, it also targets NDA, it also targets communication skills, it also targets IELTS and TOEFL and so on. So all these things have almost the same syllabus to be covered. Now, it's like if you take English, there are 26 alphabets. Any word, it is smaller word or bigger word or anything that is made, they should be framed only from these 26 alphabets. So when we talk about the amount of syllabus that need to be covered, it is limited. And any exam that is being conducted is conducted from this limited syllabus only. So when I complete this limited syllabus, he or she is eligible for all these exams. Now, when I talk about limited syllabus, NCERT curriculum may not include everything of this limited syllabus. If something is missing, we also add those missing things. Okay. So we call it as an integrated syllabus. So neither state board nor CBSE nor anything, it's an integrated syllabus. So a child loses nothing. They get a what we call it as certificate from state board.
When I ponder about it, I feel that you are not only training the child for IITs and NEET, but also to other segments that a student has to take to reach that abroad universities, right? Probably, an SAT or an ACT, that kind of a test. Do you think the time would be sufficient? Or what is the strength of your class that, the student is able to do everything?
Many students struggle to get a seat in IIT alone. So one thing they want to do, they struggle so much. Now when I'm talking about doing so many things, from where do I get time?
Yes, absolutely.
Am I taking the time of students' self-study or not? Yeah. Now when we talk about teaching, we'll be using PPTs, audio visuals, and we use technology, a lot of technology. So when a teacher starts writing on the board, out of every 1.5 hour lecture, they lose around 40 minutes only in writing form. Now that is not there here. So in a years of time, there are 440 hours a teacher saves. So these 440 hours are used for these SAT or ACT or AP or IELTS TOEFL or communication skills and all. So these 440 hours what I am talking are enough for the teacher to teach in the classroom and make student learn in the classroom itself. So during their self-study hours, they need to only work on maths, physics, chemistry. Means I have not taken extra time of student, I have saved some time,
yes,
and I am using the time for extra things, and this indirectly helps the student in different way. Now let's say they have done one core subject, mathematics.
yes.
Now immediately if I put physics, the child brain may be logged. Instead of that, if I put a topic or a lesson or a subject which creates interest to the student, then they are regenerated. So next period again physics, they are happy now, they are ready for the next launch. So this is how it helps, this program helps. Like after maths, I may put one communication skill class.
Yeah.
So after that student is refreshed. So then I put physics class. Student is fresh to take every time. So this program helps. Instead of putting pressure on the child, it eases pressure. Now, you asked me one more question. Uh, like, can they cope up with IIT JEE syllabus, then these and
Yes.
all? Now, when I talk about objectives, let us say I'm breaking that into 5 levels: level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. So with the 1, 2, 3 levels, if student can get a rank around 200 in IIT JEE and definitely a rank around 50 in JEE mains, then why should I tax a student with level 4, level 5? I'm not keen of a rank below 200 in this universal program. So I'm keen that student gets a good seat in a good IIT or something like that, or good NIT. Otherwise, I want them to be the top 100 universities. As my first priority is top 100 universities. If they get into top 100 universities, that is a bigger achievement. Like student joining Harvard, people dream. They don't get into it. They struggle. But if a student only thinks of IITs, they cannot get into these premier institutes. Now, if I save these 2 levels, that means with 1, 2, 3 levels, I am able to get a rank around 200. I am not bothered of rank below 200 for these kids as I am targeting the top universities. So I am not focusing on this. But when I say levels, even level 1 covers 100% of syllabus. Level 2 covers 100% of syllabus. When I talk about level, it is only difficulty level of a question.
Okay, okay.
So syllabus is covered everywhere. But only thing is difficulty levels I am avoiding.
Okay.
So with this, what are the advantages? Disadvantage, I told, a child may not get rank below 200 in IIT JEE and rank below 15 NITs or JEE mains. But advantages, I'll tell. Teacher spends 40% of their teaching hours on this. Now those 40% of time is saved. Teacher spends that on the level 1, level 2, level 3. Means they can teach slowly. They can
Yeah.
explain students. They can ask questions. They can use seminar techniques. They can call a child to the board and they can ask them to teach on the board. When student knows the teacher will call the student to the board and ask him or her to teach, 1 time they'll stand, 2 times they'll stand blank, 3rd time they may stand blank, but 4th time they'll prepare and come. So indirectly, I'm motivating a child to learn without asking him to learn. Now, students save 60% of time because students believe to get a seat in IIT, they need to be good with the most typical questions. But they forget they should be strong with the basics.
Yes, yes.
So they don't spend time on the basic levels. They spend more time on typical levels. Very few students understand this concept and they focus on basics and as well as higher levels. So this 60% of time is saved for the student. Now they spend that on these 1, 2, 3 levels. They prepared in an intensive way in that limited zone. So definitely they get time to learn without missing something. And definitely they get a better rank even in IITs and NITs or JEE mains.
How many hours do you think a child needs to put in apart from your curriculum? I mean, in the college or in the institute, wherever the child is going?
Here, most of the students who gets good result or who are successful in these type of exams, when they are asked, they say, I spend 8 hours, I spend 10 hours. There are very few students who work less but still get better ranks. There is a boy by name Abhishek. I'm telling one example. There could be many examples. There are many examples, but I'm only talking about one example. This boy used to study for only 4.5 hours a day. He never had foundation. He is from CBSE school, KV, Kendriya Vidyalaya. He never had foundation. He just joined in intermediate for IIT JEE coaching. He used to study for only 4.5 hours. He used to play football every day. He used to play cricket every day. He used to enjoy his life, but he got All India rank 17 in general category. So the question is not how many hours you spend, how effectively use the time you are spending. So you need to focus on the things when teacher is teaching, understand them, grasp them, print them in your brain and learn them and try to develop application skill of the learned concepts to a situation. If a student does this, even if a child works for 4.5 hours, they can give the best result. So when I was talking, I said one child into MIT and some students, two students went in, three students went into MIT from one of our batches. And from the same batch, 3 joined Harvard, 5 joined Pennsylvania. And apart from these 11, 110 students joined top 100 universities. And from remaining 99 students of that batch, 68 students joined IITs, NITs and that kind of institutes. So none of these students work for 8 hours per day or 10 hours per day or something. They all worked for 4.5 hours or 5 hours like that per day. They used to play every day. They used to watch movies now and then. They used to talk to parents. They used to watch TV and so on. But still they produced the result. The reason was they had focused study. They were focusing when teacher is teaching, and they were trying to learn, understand the concepts and apply and develop the application skill. That's what they did. So every student they does that, I think they can get into any institute.
You mean to say that studying 4.5 hours to 5 hours, a student can get into IITs?
Yes,
And
yes.
okay, that is news. We generally think the longer they study, the longer, the better
And there
the ranks
are
are.
misconceptions like a student should work 365 days a year.
Yes, yes,
No
absolutely.
Sunday, no festival.
Yeah.
And they can't even sleep properly. They believe that they should sleep only for 4-5 hours a day and then study. All these are meaningless things. If a student sleeps for just 4 hours, where is rest for his mind? When body and mind does not get rest, sufficient rest, he or she cannot focus. When they cannot focus, I am sure even if they study 24 hours a day, they cannot get into good institute. So their mind needs rest, their body needs rest, they need to relax, they need to keep their mind silent and work on.
So what is the timings of your institute or whatever?
We have two kinds of systems. One is day scholars, which starts at 8:30 in the morning and ends at 4:30 in the evening. And we have other semi-residential system, which starts at 7 o'clock in the morning and ends at 7 o'clock in the evening. So even for semi-residential students, teaching hours are between 8:30 to 4:30 only. So this additional time whatever is given, that is for study hours. So only teacher will be there. In their presence they study. Generally this semi-residential system is useful for those kids whose parents are both are working and mother is busy and going to job and does not get time to cook food or observe whether child is working or not. Under those circumstances, somebody needs semi-residential system. But even if student is studying at home in the absence of parent, we have a system to track the student study. So parent need not bother about it. We have good technology. We can track what student is doing at home, even if parent is not there, and we can do justice.
Do you suggest the parent to take the option, or you decide for the child looking at whatever the scenario of the child's
Generally,
home
we
front
give
is?
choice to the parent. So they have their own needs.
So you feel this is sufficient for the child to take up the international standardized test and also the IIT JEE? There's so much on the palette, right? So apart from this, what other how do you talk about their physical activities, and how do you talk about what do you do about those extracurricular activities that they would want to develop?
Yeah, this I think already I mentioned in the beginning. See, even we people or you people or during our days and your days, people used to enjoy their life. They used to play and they used to get into good institutes. So if physical activity is not there, child's body does not function properly. His or her mind will not function properly. They'll have exhaustive energy. That exhaustive energy should go out of their body. They'll have exhaustive thoughts. Those exhaustive thoughts should be taken out of their mind. So if these are not done, no child can excel. So every child needs physical activity. So they need to play for half an hour a day. They need to take out their exhaustive thoughts. They need to talk to brothers, sisters, friends and all. They need to be active enough every time they work on. So I suggest students to play and spend some time for themselves.
What is the strength of the class are you planning to?
Post-COVID, we are planning to have very little strength as per the government suggestions. So could be 25 or around that.
What are the college hours for what is it that you're going to give after college? How are you going to track the student? The day scholars go back home. You have a technology, but how are you going to track it? And the semi-residential students that you have, you say that 3 more hours. Don't you think again you are taking the child through the same circle of longer hours?
No, I am saying like students should study for only 4.5 hours. And they are given some time to play. So they are given some time to watch TV.
Okay.
They are given some time to talk to their brothers, sisters, mother, father, etc. So in other institutes where students are going through this kind of system, they don't get all that.
Okay.
Now, there are certain other things which one should understand. What are the benefits a student can get from this institute? Now, we have something called as adaptation system, like you just asked how we are going to supervise. So when I talk about adoption system, every teacher or faculty member is allotted around 20 to 30 students. That faculty's responsibility is to call this child one-on-one basis, once in every 15 days, talk to them, counsel them, and solve their problems. If they are suffering in one subject, they'll take them to that particular subject faculty. If they are having some psychological problems, they'll bring to me or to another faculty, somewhere where their problems can be solved. Or it could be any personal problem which really hampers their educative system. Even such problems are attended to by this adoption, in this adoption system through that owner. That faculty is called as owner of that child. Now, how do I create interest in the child? See, if I have 2 or 3 tracks per subject, means one teacher comes and teaches one lesson, second teacher of the subject, and second teacher comes and teaches the second lesson of the same subject. Like that, 2 teachers will give 2 homeworks. So this teacher may give 30 questions and this teacher may give 30 objective questions. Like the 3 subjects if you take, altogether a child need to work around 150 to 180 questions in a day, objective questions in a day. To work so much, they need to work for almost 12 hours a day, which is impossible for any child. Next thing, at our institute, we give very limited calculative homework. Not limited, I can say calculative homework. Now, if I covered some X amount of syllabus, it is a single track system here. Only one teacher teaches a subject. They'll start from base to the top of that subject. So when that same teacher is teaching, only one homework will be there. So now what are they covered in that day? We give limited number of questions covering all the things that are covered on that day, maybe around 15 to 20 questions per subject. So student has around 60 questions a day or 45 questions a day. They can complete this homework in 3.5 hours of time, and immediately student has some more time to work on the concepts, basics. As I said before, many students are forgetting to work on basics, but here they work on basics also. So a student does not miss theory, a student does not miss concepts, and they does not miss objective homeworks. And when they are able to complete everything of this kind, their confidence levels boost and they get more enthusiastic and they work more and more. Still, after doing all these things, in case if student has some problem, we have once in every 15 days a counseling session in the classroom that is called as general counseling. Apart from the 2 kinds of counselings I said now, there is one more counseling which is done by me. It is called as personality development sessions. So me being a psychologist also, once in every 15 days I'll also counsel the child and ensure that they are mentally strong and stable and work on.
What do you think is better, the day scholar thing or the semi-residential thing? Which one do you think is better?
If you ask me this question, I say day scholars is better, because as soon as the college is over, they go home, they freshen up themselves, and they get some relaxation. They play for half an hour, then they can start working on the subjects. If it is semi-residential, they leave at 7 o'clock here, they reach home at 8:30, so they don't get time to play. That means they need to spend early in the morning. So here, for day scholar, they get chance in the evening, so they freshen up, they play for half an hour, then they freshen up, they eat something, then they study. So I always prefer day scholar. But again, as I said, it depends on the parents' choice, their needs and all. And here we would like to mention one more thing, like how a girl child is treated. A girl child has certain specific needs. So we have female, what we call it as student welfare officer. That lady will be responsible for counseling these girls. And particularly girls, when they go home in the evening, they freshen up, they feel so happy and comfortable. They'll be fresh enough and enthusiastic enough to work on. And any girl child's problems are attended to by those student welfare officers. And like earlier we were talking about the concepts, focus, understanding the concepts. See, a child does not has logical reasoning and analytical skills, let us say. that means they might have not been trained on that. So if I need to take the child to higher level, I need to first enlighten their analytical skills and logical reasoning. So we put some certain classes for mental ability, math. So around 36 hours in a year. So with this math, a student gets enough logical reasoning and analytical skills, and when they start working on questions, they understand things in an easier way, and they can analyze a question in a better way, and they can solve the problems in a better way. So this helps a lot.
Do you think this will help them cope up with the other students, or work better?
Yeah, definitely. And apart from that, there are certain questions in BitSat which are asked from this general aptitude, and BARC has certain questions from this. So in this program, as math is already covered throughout the year, a child who is taking, see, there are own advantages for foreign universities, IITs, NITs, and all these we discussed, JEE mains and all. But now this is a typical zone which no one works on, everyone neglects. But this program takes care of that by default. Now, when we are already training them on math, these questions, specific questions which are asked in BitSat or BR questions, they are already being taught and they've already prepared. So they score better marks than other kids.
Are you talking about the aptitude test that nowadays we have
Yes, aptitude
everywhere?
test, yes.
Though you speak about all these things happening, and you speak about the wonderful way you are going to track the student, and are you mean to say that you're going to work in a triangle where the student, the parent, and the teacher would be working together? Is that the model that you would be following?
See, I cannot keep parent in dark,
Yes,
nor student in dark,
Yes.
nor teacher and myself in dark.
Yeah.
So all three should work in unison.
Yes.
So there are certain roles that need to be played by parent.
Yes, absolutely.
There are certain needs to be played by student, and there are certain needs that are to be played by faculty. Yeah. So if all three work together, then only we can do a better job. Now, in the adaptation program, this owner, whoever is there, his or her job is to talk to parents once in every 15 days. And apart from that, alternate months, we go for parent-teacher meets. Okay. So when you go for parent-teacher meets, automatically all three of us discuss what is happening. And we train the teachers and instruct parents not to scold child, nor physically punish them or mentally harass them or whatever it is, or abuse them. Of course, I don't say that deliberately somebody does it. Incidental or accidentally certain things happen. But one should control even such things, then child is very happy. If I keep on telling like, you're not fit for this, you're not fit for this, you're not suitable to get a seat in IIT, that student decides that they are incapable. If I tell, no, you are doing this mistake here, why don't you rectify it? You have bright chance to get into it, provided you rectify this. Yes, yes. So then child think, oh, even am I capable of getting a seat into IIT? Oh, it's great. Am I having a chance to get into MIT? Oh, it's great. So that means I need to do this. So if we make them believe that, I'm sure they work on that. Once they work on that, definitely those negativities are removed or deficits are removed. So once deficits are removed, automatically student works better and he or she gets a good result. So in these, all three persons' roles are there. So we go for PTMs every alternate month.
So do you think an average student would also be able to cope up with your syllabus?
Yeah, average child is framed. They are not given a motivation.
It is not about motivation. I have a daughter. I mean, she's street smart. You know, when it comes to being, doing something outside, she's street smart. I mean, literally sometimes I can't beat her the way she does. But when it comes to academics, she does not have the interest, the inclination to work. So what do you do with that kind of students?
They should be motivated. They should be made to understand the importance of everything. They need to be made to understand the balancing of everything that they are supposed to do. And they need to be guided. Most of them are confused. See, if I say, you study 4.5 hours a day. Student comes to me and asks, sir, if I study 4.5 hours, you're asking me to play, you're asking me to watch a movie, or you're asking me to watch TV, you're asking me to talk to my mother, father, brother, sisters. From where will I get the time? Give me a timetable. So a child is innocent. A child really does not know what to do. If he or she knows what to do and how to do, they would have done it. So they want everything. So if we give them a chance to do everything and get everything for them, I'm sure they work. So for that they need to be guided. So when they are given everything, I'm sure the talk of they not having interest in subjects or something like that does arise.
So which curriculum are you going to follow? The CBSE or IP? What curriculum?
No, this
state
we already
board?
discussed. It's an integrated syllabus. We are from state board.
Okay.
And it's an integrated syllabus.
Yeah,
So the certificate they get is from Board of Intermediate Education, Telangana State.
That's exactly, okay.
And curriculum is integrated curriculum.
So apart from all this, what is it that can help them do something better? How to hone their skills or how to sharpen the way they think? Are you also working on that?
Yeah. So generally we have something called as communication skills,
Okay.
wherein one skill called as life skill is being covered. So in this life skills, we talk about so many methods of how they should sharpen their inherent skills or which are hidden skills or which they are capable of and all. Like Hanuman, if you take, he doesn't know his actual strength. He should be told you can do this. If he is told, then he does it. Similarly, a child does not know what is there inside them. And if we can make them realize, yes, you can do this, it is your cup of tea, believe this first, believe yourself and you're capable, I'm sure they do it. So when this is done and we are training them on life skills, then this counseling sessions, 3 types of counseling sessions, parents being trained on how to deal with that child, teachers are trained how to deal with that child, and child is told how to behave with teachers, parents and with themselves and their classmates, I'm sure they do better.
How do you give them some tips or some concentration, how to concentrate? Do you have that kind of a thing also coming?
Yeah.
I mean, do you work on that aspect also?
Yeah. See, concentration comes with meditation, which is the biggest boon for Indians. So every day in the first period, for all the day scholars, we give 10 minutes meditation. They do it in front of us.
Okay.
And at home, they need to do 20 minutes of meditation early in the morning. We train the parents and we ask parents to observe. So sometime we even visited certain students early in the morning to see if they are really doing it or not. So there were sudden visits or surprise visits by us. Yeah. And we did that. So students believe. And once they know that it is for their benefit, they'll not hesitate to do it. I've not seen any child hesitating if they are made to understand it's for their benefit. If we say it is compulsory, they don't understand why it is compulsory.
Yeah,
if I say this if you do, you'll get this, and if you make them realize that is the need for them, and without that they cannot reach their goals, they'll be very keen of doing those
They will be winking their eye as to when I can open, the others are sitting.
Yeah.
I have done that a couple of times in my class. So you are talking about a holistic development in the child. You're talking about math classes, you're talking about meditation, you're talking about the child tracking, I mean, in different levels. It really sounds very interesting. But then, apart from that, what else is it that, that you vouch for it, that no other place is doing this and this is what we are doing? Can you vouch something of that sort?
Yeah. I can say a parent looks for good future for the child.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good educative system.
Yes.
Good observatory system. Now, online support. When a child is studying at home, he or she need to be given a support.
Yes.
And when we are giving all these things, in all this discussion we made till now, we are giving every of these ingredients. Yes. In many of these aspects, other institutes fail. So they may say, no, we do this. But ask them how they are doing. I gave how we are doing. But if you ask them how we are doing it, they don't have an answer. They put blank face. That itself is enough. Or you talk to their students, they'll say no. So this itself is an indication why you should pick up this institute rather than another institute.
By now, many students would have gone to different colleges and different places. So I was asking to understand that how will they change their mind to come to your place, or how your place is the right fit for them to
Yeah.
crack exams or.
First and foremost thing is many students may not know about this institute.
Yes,
We are
absolutely.
coming out freshly
Yes.
and with good systems and good thoughts and very much planned in every way.
Yeah.
So without knowledge of this, a student or parent might have joined somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we make them understand there is some system like this, then they may rethink. So there are many cases where the students felt that their choice was wrong choice. Of course, there could be parents who believe their choice was right. So if they believe their choice was right, we are happy. But if they believe that their choice was not right and this could be a better choice, we are welcoming them. So many kids are sufferers in these terms. I don't like to name the institutes. It's not
Yeah.
good on my part or my level of person. So I don't blame or name some particular institute. But if you yourself survey and parents go and survey, they'll understand the fate of these kids.
Now, parents and the students have this herd mentality, right? The chicken farm mentality is very much famous as institutes are sprouting. It's been 25 years. The education system is going through a different phases where we are so much into rote learning and, so much into, feeding the child that we have almost negated the usage of brain at all.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you think you are doing something in this aspect? Because I see, because of not able to think, their relationships are 25 years, and now when these people have grown older, I see they're failing in relationships, they're failing in communication. Do you think you can do something about this? I mean, you can fuel that expression is important, or how expression is important. Nothing more than that.
Yeah. First and foremost thing is there was a time where parents had this herd mentality.
Yes.
Now, not 100%, but at least few parents are thinking that this is not the right place. Let me not follow this.
Yes. Yes.
They are searching for options.
Yeah.
They are searching for good options, best options.
Yes.
They doesn't want their child to struggle with always pumping in with the subject, though the child is not able to catch in anything. So that's why I said we are going for a system wherein we give very good conceptual depth or knowledge to the child and we develop application skill. It is the job of student now to do the rest. I'm not pumping in everything. Like if 1,000 questions are there, I'll not teach 900 questions and I'll not expect a student to come to me for a doubt for 901 question,
Absolutely.
901 question. I'll train them on only 100 questions. Out of next 900, I want the child to do 700 questions on their own.
Okay.
So this is the system we are following. So when I can do this, when I'm successful in doing this, you can understand a student struggles to do 1 or 10 questions, student does 700 questions, you can understand the difference of confidence levels in the child. They'll become the masters, they'll conquer the world. So I'm sure we are following these systems. And as I said, parents are losing that herd mentality. And they're thinking about the welfare of their kids. And I've seen many parents talking about their children having little bit time for themselves. They want their child to play for some time. They want their child to talk to them for some time. They want their children to go out once in a while, 15 days or 1 month maybe. So this thinking is cropping up now and many parents are changing. And I'm looking for those parents, not for the herd mentality parents.
Okay. So there's one more thing that now, when are we going to start our, offline courses? Is the debate going on across the country, and parents, teachers, students, scholars, managements, they're all, they also want to open up, but there are so many guidelines. Yeah. Amid all this, when are you going to open your offline sessions?
Yeah. We are waiting for government's announcement. I think August first week they said, and we are going to start accordingly. Even if things gets delayed, we have online system, which is more powerful than offline system, except the child looking at us physically.
Okay.
So, but other than that, there are everything present in our online system. So we are going to start our classes at any cost in the month of August. And if government delays the dates of starting college, we'll start off We'll train them through online, and we are following and capable of following all the guidelines that government is mentioning, and we have enough space, we have enough facilities to follow all those instructions. So only we are waiting for a nod, and even if that nod gets delayed, we are going to start a full-fledged class through online system, and a perfect online system which is more powerful than offline system. The only difference is student will not be able to see us physically till the government permits us to start off.
Though we talk about all this, as I already said, all play, no work makes Jack a lazy boy. Do you think now, even if we are starting in the first week of August, as you said, will the child be able to complete the syllabus? Will the child get some extra time to complete the syllabus or to cope up or to ace the exams as they have done in the previous years? What about that?
Here there are two things I'll talk about. One, will child be given extra time? So as far as we have seen the past, child will not be given an extra time. Because last year there were RTC strikes, almost, if I'm right, around 60, 70 days have been lost, and no extra time was given. Exams were conducted normally in the month of February, March, and so on. So if we think that government gives extra time for students to learn, that is meaningless. Now, question is second, will the time be sufficient? Now, if I give a day's time, no student learns on that day. Just before exam, they start learning. So if we can motivate the child to learn every day, spend some time every day, if we can make that if the child is made to do that, I'm sure the time what is there is sufficient, because child does not even use 20% of the available time. If we can make them use this time during this short period, whatever it is, I'm sure they can complete. Now, the shortage of time is for everyone.
Yes.
So if I'm having a shortage of time, even A, B, C, D also have same shortage of time. Yes. In this short time, whoever uses that available time the best way, they'll be the leader in performing. So if earlier, if I give more time, if student can score 90%, maybe here if 80% could be the topper's score. So all the limitations are same for everyone. So it doesn't matter for us.
How will you motivate the students to pick up that pace?
Yeah, we have three kinds of motivation systems. Counseling sessions. One, individual counseling. That is the most powerful tool which no one can do, no institute can do that. Second, group counselings. Of course, many institutes may do this group counseling. I'm not saying only we will do that. But there could be a difference in one way, like other institutes may use those counseling sessions to decide whether a child is capable of getting a seat in particular thing or not, whether they are worthful student or not, whether they are able to cope up or not. We don't do that. We only try to motivate child and educate them in making understand how to attempt, how to put an effort, how to make it lively for themselves, how to make it a successful attempt, like that. This kind of things we do it. And third kind of thing, personality development sessions, which we are doing for every 15 days. And many other institutes do not have this facility. So definitely all these systems will motivate the child in all the ways.
You mean to say that you can convert an introvert to an extrovert? Is that possible?
Yes, yes. I talked about seminar techniques.
Yes.
So when a child starts teaching to so many students sitting in front of them, I'm sure that child becomes an extrovert. And we have seen that. Many parents were shocked to see their child talking after 3 months. They used to come and tell me, sir, my child does not talk. He won't ask you questions. I used to tell them, please wait for 3 months. Tell the same word to me after 3 months. But after 3 months, many parents came and told, sir, మాకు తలనొప్పి వచ్చేస్తుంది మా పిల్లలతో. So this was the change.
So they are experiencing headache now that the student has started speaking.
Yeah, more.
Okay. So what do you think is more significant? You talk about counseling, you talk about training. What do you think? A result-oriented teacher is more important, or somebody who teaches well is more important? Which teacher do you think, or which faculty member can make a difference?
See, when I talk about teacher who teaches very well and student says ha ha after the class is over and they're very happy, but once they go out of the classroom, and when they try to work on their own, if they are finding difficulties in understanding, means I'm not saying teacher is bad there. I'm saying the level of teaching may be something different beyond the reach of child when the teacher was teaching. But when the teacher is teaching, they might be finding it very lively and very enthusiastic and all. But once they are failing to work on their own, automatically they fail to perform in the exam. Now, other way if you see, a teacher, you called them as a result-oriented teacher.
Yeah.
So a teacher, such teachers when they teach, a student may say ha ha or not, that's a separate thing. But as he is already called as a result-oriented, means result-producing teacher, when student goes home and works, they get solutions. So when they get solution, they think like, oh, I was understanding when teacher was teaching, but I was not thinking that I'm understanding. Yeah. And once they're getting solutions, their confidence level boosts and they work more, they put more effort and automatically result come. So ultimately if I say, like definitely I'll be more towards a result oriented teacher.
So what kind of a teacher are you? Are you a Socrates kind of a teacher trying to invoke what is inside the mind, or are you that kind of a teacher who would go on giving inputs and then the child takes in? What kind of a teacher would you prefer?
No, I prefer a teacher who always invokes the inner talents of a child. So they are the difference makers. So I want or I appreciate difference makers, not routine teachers or routine persons.
That actually, gives a complete difference to the child's potential and to the understanding skills once the child feels that they can understand better. Apart from this, we have spoken about on different subjects. I would like to know, when you say that you want to send your child abroad, only the like our Indian institutes, they only require us to be competent enough academically.
Yeah.
Is it the same for abroad universities too?
No, they look at many aspects. They look at the social behavior of the child. They look at how good they mingle with the things, how good they are in extracurricular and co-curricular activities, how much they are helpful for the society and students, classmates, and how friendly they move, and so many other, like how good they are into sports and other things, so many things. So definitely there is difference in picking up. So it doesn't mean that they don't look at academic strengths. They look at academic strengths. Along with that, they look at these aspects also.
That means that not only the child has to be academically good enough, but at the same time they also have to create a profile.
True.
So how does your institute help the child to develop that profile? How do you help?
We look at the characters and qualities in a child. If somebody has some sport activities and all, we encourage them. Somebody has fine arts and all, we encourage them. Somebody is capable of doing some social service, we do that. Somebody has extracurricular, co-curricular activities or mock ear, nose and all, whatever it is, like 5K run, 10K run, whatever it is they can do. We encourage them, we guide them, we create that awareness and ensure that child develops all these things and works on wherever they are capable of. And we improve their profile with these things.
Does this help them in getting into better universities?
Definitely.
Is it a predicament? I mean, is it a prerequisite for them to get into the best universities?
Yeah, it is a prerequisite. And apart from that, even their scholarships could be more. If the credits are more, if the credits are more, the scholarship they get could also be more.
Oh, you were talking about the scholarships in the beginning of our interview. So this profile building will also help them get those scholarships.
Yes.
So does that also mean that people who cannot really afford the child to be studying, in this universities can also afford it because of the...
Yes, because they get more scholarship, and apart from that, when they go there, even they may get a chance to work there part-time. They can earn a little bit there, but scholarship is the main thing we are focusing at. If a child can get up to 55 or more, 55% or more, or 45%, maybe a parent can afford the remaining. Based on the universities, these fees change. So based on the scholarships they get for that particular institute, a child can decide which university they need to be in. And parent also can decide their paying capacity.
Amid all this, just one last question that I would ask you. How did you conceive this idea of just not IITs and NEET, but also this, we have generally seen that parents were keen sending their students for postgraduate courses, but you have decided to send them in undergraduate courses. Do you think the child will be able to, take the pressure?
Actually, everyone believed that child should be at least 20 years or 21 years
Yeah.
to cope up with all these pressures. But I have been with these age kids for long. I have seen these kids have capability to live alone or lead a stronger life if they are given a chance. But we Indian parents really did not face this situation. So this is the first thing that I have seen. Second thing is, the kids who are able to get into IITs, they are not the only good students. Even other students are good. Maybe they don't have certain attitudes in them to reach those institutes, but they are capable. Then we were thinking, why don't we try some methods to take them into different institutes? And then this thought made us to do research work on this. We did good research work on this. Then we have realized that to get into those top universities, it is very easy than getting into an IIT and all. And definitely the ranking is better, so future is also better. And this kid can go there and cope up with the situations and scenarios. So then what stops us thinking? So then we decided and we launched it, and we have seen very good success. Parents were very happy with this. Initially they were doubting, how can a child do these many things? But once we did it, they were very happy. Now students and parents believe that yes, I can do this and these many things. Yeah.
It was a wonderful conversation, Mr. Prasad. We wish you a lot of best of luck to India to be successful in your endeavor. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much for coming to us.
Thank you.
So it was a wonderful experience for me itself to know so much about the education system, the changing scenario, and how Mr. Prasad and his organization has come up with a novel idea to start an online plus an offline course. Though it sounds complicated, but when he speaks about it, it talks a tons about how a visionary works and how a vision can be accomplished with the changing trend in the parents, in the students, and in the society as well. It was nice. I hope it would have enlightened and given you a lot of introspection and a lot of information about this course. Thank you so much.
And before we close, I would like to update one more thing, because this is very important for everyone to know. This YEP TV is there in the market for over a decade of time.
Okay.
And they have conquered the world of entertainment.
Yeah, YEP TV, I know. We have the channel at home.
It is their program.
Oh, that's amazing. So you are basically working in collaboration with...
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a brainchild of YEP TV, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And they have the best broadcasting system in the world.
Okay.
There is no disturbance, there is no distraction,
Okay.
there is no failures in the liveliness or online systems. They are the world leaders.
Yeah.
So definitely now people can understand
Oh,
where
that's
they are
amazing.
going to.
So we are actually into a multi. It's a I think it almost serves 140 countries abroad,
Yeah, true.
globally,
True,
and
true.
they are into this streaming and
Yeah,
stuff.
true.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They have millions of viewers.
Yes, and quality is also good.
Very high, very high. High definition videos and very clear, no streaming time, everything is instantaneous,
Okay.
no distractions, no failures,
Yeah.
so many things to talk about.
Okay, that's amazing. That's the reason you were so confident talking about, we track, we do this, we do that. I was just wondering, like, how far is he going to go about? That was amazing. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice talking to Deepa Garu. I did not reveal anywhere which organization I was representing and talking. But at the end when I said, she was really amazed and shocked, like, is it YEP TV who is doing this? Such a big organization, now entering into education field. She was so happy that yes, a good organization has come into field of education to do justice to the needs of student and parent community. Now, when I talk about YEP TV, this is an organization which is started by or a dream project of Mr. Uday Reddy, who is a native of Karimnagar, and he himself is an electronics and telecommunication graduate from Delhi University, and who worked in USA and lived in Atlanta. And he thought like the entertainment field in India is very poor, and he ventured into this and taking 250 plus channels into his control and organizing all these 250 channels through YEP TV. And having more than 10 million viewers or customers or enrolled personnel in this YEP TV organization. And it has been more than decades of time, and it's a long lasting, increasing and improving and growing year by year, and definitely such organizations will lead to greater heights, and such organization entering into education field is a boon for students and parents. And I think this was the surprise she was showing, that it's a YEP TV, and yes, it's YEP TV who is doing this. And I'm sure parents and students will be now more confident and believing, yes, let me jump and take an admission into this program. So all the best children and all the best parents, we are here to serve you and take your children to greater heights. All the best. Thank you.